right, we're ready to go live. Ready to go live whenever you guys are ready.
Hello. Long time no
Yup.
see. The fam is all back.
What is this, episode 58 or 59?
This is 60, man.
You're kidding me.
The boys all back.
That's awesome.
This
Episode
is 60.
That's crazy.
Ooh, they're changing things up on EV. Okay.
This
is
Ranger
nice.
Watch, the morning show interview. For you guys that don't know, we've been hosting the American Journal. I'm solo hosting on Thursdays and Fridays. Tim is there Monday through Wednesday. Yes, we want to have Michael Yon on the show.
Yes, we do. I didn't get a chance to see the full segment, but I like the guy.
Dude, you're going to have to check it out because he's one of those people. It was like I was talking to like a Kyle Seraphin, right? And like those like military, like those police, like those government people, they will just like, they have all the information, they have all the data, and they just like lay it on you in like 5 to like 10 minute chunks. And like my thing was I didn't feel like I didn't have enough time to interview him properly, which is why I want us to actually prepare notes, get questions for this guy. This guy's been all around the world. Like all these places that we talk about, and this is the key thing about Michael Yon that's so interesting to me about him. Everywhere that we've talked about, he's been there.
Wow.
Right? Like there's like 400K plus Israelis that have moved to Thailand, right? As part of like the migration from Israel because of the wars going on. And he's like, oh yeah, well, I've been in this city, that city, this city, and this is what's going on. And China's building this canal here. And they kind of want to get it on the infrastructure, and there's this whole thing. And I was like, well, I never heard of that before, you know? But like, this is why this guy's very important.
Yeah, he is.
Definitely should talk to him.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show. I just want to show everyone some love because it feels like
incredible. You call this a show from Tinfoil Hatter? Yes, we do. We do call it a show.
Well, he said earlier up here. He says, "Hey, you don't read comments. We get it. We read the comments.
We try to read.
We try to read.
We skip some. We'll be real with you, but if you're persistent enough, we'll go ahead and read
Straight
it. Straight
smoke. This was yapping.
Hi, Ashley. How are you doing tonight? We got
ooh, somebody said something up here. Whoa, what
happened to our live chat?
Wait, Wes, is that you?
It's a false flag.
I think they updated the software is what's going on. Ranger said better than Bree.
Here's the thing. It's a different kind of show, right? It's a different kind of show than the show Brianna was doing. Of course, Tim does a lot of prepared stuff as well, but we're doing News Blitz. It's more fast-paced news. She did a lot of prepared segments.
She did. Ours is... Okay, you can't really, it's like comparing apples to oranges because our show involves two people. So Rex and I have the benefit of bouncing off of each other, whereas if you're by yourself, and you can probably speak to this way more than I, it is hard to fill airtime by yourself for a full 3 hours. I was just talking about this with somebody else, King Damon in the back. He was asking what it's like. It's like, now on we got a super chat. Whoa.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and read it. I was about to say we'll read it in a minute, but I can't do that to you when you give us $50. Thank you so much, Moshmiri. I like what you said this morning, that being a patriot is being anti-war. Correct. It's very basic. If you think about it, the Iraq War was our generation's Vietnam. Absolutely. I think we need to change the narrative that being anti-war is patriotic. Yeah, I mean, like, we'll get into this a little bit later because we have some war predictions. We want to chop it up a little bit more. Phenomenal question, and we're going to remember that. We're going to jump off on that in like 15, 20 minutes. These are very basic things. There's nothing patriotic about wanting people to die.
Yeah, there's nothing patriotic about it.
Right.
But thank you for the 50.
Really
we appreciate that. That's going right back into the show. He said we were talking about the difficulty of performing in front of it's like now that we're doing this and we are in the studio, we've got like all the lights and the cameras and stuff. I have a real appreciation for like what your dad does, what I see Harrison doing. Even when Owen was on there, I'm like, props to these guys because it can make or break you sometimes.
Well, that's the crazy thing to me about a lot of the criticism. A lot of the criticism of like InfoWars people, of like my dad, Harrison, you could even throw Owen into there. It's from people that mostly do like POV cell phone videos and like recorded segments, media content, whatever you'd call it. They'd probably call it content over and over again. And when you tell them like, hey, there's people that have been doing a 30-year show in live format 5 to 6 days a week for 3+ hours a day, it kind of breaks their brain a little bit because like it's a different kind of media than what they're doing, right? And like what you're seeing is like, it really is, it's a radio show on TV.
It is. And I think the thing specifically is when you're live, you know, a lot of the stuff you're talking, and you catch a lot of the instances that you see, like you think are mistakes. And the whole point is to not focus on those things. But like,
focusing
again,
on them literally creates them.
You're right. Like it's just, you know, for people who criticize like your dad or some other people, it's like you get in the studio and you try to do that. Like,
absolutely.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not ready to do a solo show on something like that where I have to sit there.
I'm barely ready. Like I'm holding all my
where you have to sit there. You have nobody to keep the conversation going. You just have to have a ton of material and fill up the dead air time.
Well, here's what you do have, because you're right about that. Technically, like at a ground level, it's you and you're making the decisions. It's your show, but you actually have phenomenal resources there, which is why we've been able to do a really high-level show in the short time we've been doing it. You actually have a producer. You actually have people that are in there switching, editing, helping you do things, flipping things in live time, giving you feedback on guests, giving you feedback on callers. That's really useful, because the reason why, Tim, you're actually able to do this at a really high level now is because we put in hundreds of hours in a very difficult environment. We were switching for ourselves most of the time. It's just been me and you, no fancy ad breaks or anything like that, no segments, just talking into the camera, connecting with their audience on real information. And it's been really cool to see you in there and me in there too, us in there together as a team working together. It's been really cool to see it from the outside looking in, because we watch the clips too.
Yeah.
Isn't it neat to be on the network?
It is very neat. And I just super much like, let me just gather my thoughts here. I am super grateful to be able to have the opportunity just to even for us to be doing this and then have it kind of segue into that, because never in a million years would I thought I would have had that opportunity to speak in front of such a large audience. And it's just every time I get up there, I'm like, that all I can feel is gratitude.
And you see how it really is. Like, and you had this concept before where you were asking me before we went there the first time, before we did the first show, you're like, well, like, what are the limits? What are the controls? What are we not allowed to say? It's not like that. Like, we just got to do a good show. No. And you go there and you see like there's no bigotry, hatred of any kind. Just loving people, talented people.
I see people sometimes comment and they're like, you know, they have a narrative. Somebody told them to say something before the show. Absolutely nobody tells us anything. We go in there, the crew asks us, what do you want to talk about? What do you want? We fill out our own sheet of things and all the material that we want specifically, and we go on there and we present it, and the crew has been fantastic, and they just are there to support you.
Yeah, and I feel like you're really a natural fit for the network. And like that's why both me and him, we want to do shows together. We want to do solo shows as well. It's going to be really cool on the new network. It's very sad. Going to get into it really quick. We're going to get into other topics today.
I have one question for the audience.
Sure.
Genuine feedback. Like, how do you think we're doing on the network? You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been tuning into the gray area, but you know, the journal is an upgrade. I would love to hear feedback from you guys, because I've definitely seen you guys. A few people. Somebody called in. Was it Nimrod that called in?
Yeah, Nimrod called in 100%. Yeah, we were talking to him. Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's just the love and support, man. And I do see in the live chat some of our loyal fans too. I'm seeing the same names, so I really appreciate every single person that's watching. You guys have no idea.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's always amazing to me that I think about like people are really, you know, happy and coming to watch these shows. And I got to say, like, it's an experience to get to do this and with you. Like, we're all in this together through the cyber net, through the void. We're all screaming through the void at each other. I love it. Modern age. Imagine telling somebody like 400 years ago this would happen.
We got comments here. Okay, so Marina Trent's deep dives. Wow, much love. Good job holding it down in the American Journal. Thank you. You're doing great.
Yeah.
You go
quiet when you lose your space. It's been great. Jealous you guys get to have real skin in the game. You can do it too. This is an open message. Did I get a head start? Yes. But also, have I been doing this since I was 8 years old? Also, yes.
I've been doing this for 6 months, guys. 6 months. And of the two, we were trying to do like pre-recorded stuff and try to figure it out.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But you see how the spirit of making it a live show, and this is the difference between being a podcaster where you're two people talking to each other with mics, looking at each other, and a broadcaster where you're sitting in a studio talking to the camera, to the audience, of course, looking and talking to other hosts as well. But like it's a whole different animal.
It is a whole different animal. Somebody said, I saw you in InfoWars. That's why I'm here. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, Maureen. Oh, what does Maureen say?
I love Maureen so much.
I'm enjoying seeing you both in the morning. Here, scroll up really quick.
Maureen's like my favorite guy. She's winning.
Gotcha.
Where are we?
No, you're good. Go down.
Okay. It's been great. You guys have had great chemistry. No homo.
Okay. All right. Goes without saying. Love you all in the morning. Hard to catch you this late at night on the East Coast. We'll shout out if you ever want to like catch up on a live stream and see a title that interests you. If you see my Twitter feed, it'll be a lot of what I'm covering that day.
Ranger's been watching you since you had your first broadcast at 11.
That's pretty crazy. Shout out to Ranger, a real critical thinker, not someone that just blindly agrees, someone that I disagree with, disagrees with me, agree on certain things. Good guy. Ranger.
Michael said, Sim's a natural. Thank you. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started with our segment. Damn, you guys are loyal. You know what I've noticed is the last thing I'll say?
Okay.
A lot of the InfoWars callers have been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Talk about it, man.
A long time. I've heard multiple callers. Somebody this morning I listened in, they were like, I've been listening since I've met your dad in 1990, and I've been listening to him since the early 2000s. I'm like, wow.
Leanne McAdoo, yeah, phenomenal lady. Oh, man, I miss her. She was great. I believe she moved to Florida. Let's go ahead and get into the news.
Let's get into it.
All right. Do we want to go ahead and here's the critique Matt gave yesterday.
What?
He goes, it doesn't have to be just war and politics.
He's right.
I want to do a show called War and Politics. We only talk about these things.
Well, real question is,
I'm joking, by the way.
No, but real question is, everyone's talking about it.
Right.
What? I see Harrison.
They discovered a new kind of water bear bacterium or whatever. That's what we have to focus on, too.
Your dad covers a lot of the war, too, on his show, right? Harrison does, too. You know, it's part of the flavor of the week.
The breaking news. All right, I guess let's go ahead and
let's talk about, if we want to start light, let's talk about the education system.
Okay, yeah, let's go to you want to go to literacy crisis?
Literacy crisis. Where is that?
That's on the bottom.
That's the very bottom. Let's pull that up. It's an article.
This was the first thing I covered on the journal today. You missed it, but you saw the article and you're like, we got to talk about that. Yeah, 21% of Americans literally are illiterate, can't read, can't write. 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade level.
Okay, so let's read this real quick for anybody who didn't catch it like me.
All right. The National Assessment for Adult Literacy found the literacy rate for American adults in 1870 was a gross total of 11.5% from census data. In 1979, that number was at 0.4%. With most early estimations for literacy and education heading into the 21st century pointing towards an either firm or downward trend of illiteracy, we are seeing the highest rates of illiteracy in 155 years. All right, we'll take a little pause here. That does not sound good, right?
I think COVID did that. I think COVID accelerated that. And
it definitely
and the reason,
hurt a lot of kids' brains.
Yeah, I was going to say the reason why was because they tried to do that whole learn from home. Yeah. It's a great thing for you guys. And no one's paying attention when you're trying to learn from home.
They say everything, like the most critical things for a kid happen 0 through 5. And I don't know about you. I assume for you as well. Like my parents really took care of me during that time, educated me during that time, made sure you know how to do things, right? Like the very fundamental things that make you a capable adult and just human being in the future. And when you have a period of time where kids literally can't see the faces of the people they're interacting with, you can't develop your linguistic skills.
That's a fantastic point.
That's a really big deal too. So like the kids are like 2 or 3 grades behind. That whole generation is just like they're like out there wearing helmets.
Well, and how are you supposed to keep the kid engaged too? When they have to learn with a screen in front of them where they can kind of just get distracted.
They won't know how to write. I tweeted about that a few months ago, and people responded to it. It's true.
Ooh, I would love to do this.
What are you trying to do?
Moshmir says
Don't homeschool, no social learning.
He's a 10th grade history teacher. I can call in if you want a teacher's perspective.
Yeah, we'll make a note. We
don't have the call-in thing set up quite
It's
here.
a bit funky with the EV Mux.
Yeah, it is.
And then StreamYard is just, I hate StreamYard so much, even when I use it solo. Here's the thing. I hear Ranger. I hear Moshmiri. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. You can create a social environment through like really focusing on youth sports, so that can be another kind of quagmire and trap for the kid. You're at the YMCA. Why can't you bench press 315? You're 12 years old. And the kids are like, no, please. So that's also not good. And I understand that. Like, it's a gray area. The truth
Do better.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to run these sprints. I couldn't make it on the team, but you will. No, dude. Oh, I'm grateful I didn't have to go through.
I didn't live out my dreams, but I'll live them through you.
Dude, Lord have mercy. Okay.
Yeah. So, what were we saying?
We were talking about this. I'll go ahead and keep reading it if we can get it back up on the screen.
It's right here.
With early estimates and with early estimations for literacy and education crashing, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Go ahead and scroll down. Okay.
Mississippi. Most efforts focused on improving school systems. Is this where you're at?
No, go ahead and scroll up.
Are you trying to find where you were? You were up here.
Yeah, no, I got you. Okay, a study done by Western Oregon University found in 2023 in their local school district, 54% of the 7th graders were found to be below proficient in reading, and 61% of 3rd graders were below that threshold. Nationwide, only 46% of students are proficient in reading. So how can you be a student if you don't know how to read? Right? How can you learn something if you can't understand it?
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what causes that? Is it the fact that the parents are not encouraging their kids to teach? Hey, Mosh, can you go ahead and maybe comment on this? Like, what's going on? I think you think the teachers are the problem as well, and I'm not saying you personally, but again, we have a lot of people who are of teaching age that are like our Gen Z, and I know how some of those people are very lazy.
You know, Damon is right. Damon is 100% right. Tablets and poor parents. Because here's the thing: I got family out in like little 800, 1,000 person towns. I got 3rd and 4th cousins that are living that kind of life and are struggling in those rural areas. And the deal is, I mean, the kid has an iPad. The kid has cheesy poofs and Kool-Aid, or like that other kind of what's that fruit punch with the guy surfing on it? Okay.
Capri Sun?
No. It's something else. It's something far more poisonous. It's like literally the color of crimson red blood elixir, but it's just high fructose corn syrup.
Sunny D?
No.
Well, Sunny D is just if you are giving your kids Sunny D, you should be put in prison.
Well, these kids will go to school, they'll come back, they'll play on the Xbox.
Hawaiian Punch.
That's literally all there is to do. A lot of these places, there's not a lot to do, and even learning is not exciting.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Yeah, red Hawaiian Punch. Exactly.
Red Hawaiian Punch.
Exactly. That's healthy stuff right there. That's why I'm so smart today. That's why I totally don't mess up and slur words all the time. That's just because I drank tons of that as a child. It gave me strength, like Hercules in the cartoon. Okay, all right, let's go to something else.
Yeah, let's jump to something new.
I need to find a better article on that, because that one's a bit of a chunky read. It's meant for the academic.
Social media found to be.
Oh, that's a good one. Social media companies have been found liable for, I believe this is children getting addicted, and that's at the top of page 1. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Here, I'll read the title. Jury in Los Angeles finds Meta, YouTube negligent in social media addiction trial. A jury in Los Angeles determined that Meta and Google were negligent and failed to warn users of the dangers associated with using their platforms in a high-profile social media case. It's the first of several trials taking place this year that experts have characterized as the social media industry's big tobacco moment. Compensatory damages were assessed at $3 million. I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. It's like, we're gonna punish you.
What's the
$3 million? Oh no! Oh no!
The article is the second one from the top here. The CNBC.
You're gonna have to pay a 5-cent fine for that hit and run accident you were involved in. That's basically the same type of punishment we're talking about here. It's not real. Right, these are billions upon billions.
How do you assess that at $3 million? Also, who's the one suing? because I'm not getting a paycheck. I also was susceptible to this. Where's my check? Where's my dividend for this? So
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
Somebody's grifting too.
All right. A jury in Los Angeles determined on Wednesday that Meta and Google's YouTube were negligent and failed to warn users of the dangers associated with using their platforms in a case that could have repercussions across the social media landscape. The personal injury trial commenced in late January in LA Superior Court. A young woman identified as Kaylee alleged that she became addicted to apps like Instagram and YouTube as a child. Where do I get paid?
Sign me up.
Yeah, I want to be a part of this class action lawsuit. Hell yeah. Deliberations began Friday, March 13th. That's a little, Friday the 13th.
I thought it was a little late to be doing this. So is this somebody who's like current, or they're trying to, or this is like?
Well, I think they're trying to say like when they were a kid, they got addicted to it and it caused problems for them.
I mean, look, social media companies do need a slap on the hand. I'm not going to sit here and defend them. I think what they do is sort of predatory in certain aspects to keep you on the app.
We demand reparations. We demand Gen Z reparations. We demand $10,000 checks today now.
Yeah, that iPad was put in my hands.
That's right. And now you need to be able to buy me an
Actually,
iPad.
I'm 27, so I was still around when dial-up, believe it or not. I remember the dial-up sound.
Don't tell them that, because we can still get you in the lawsuit. It'll be okay.
Get me in, man.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out. Okay, I'll read this. Today's verdict is a historic moment for Kaylee and the thousands of children and families who have been waiting for this day. The attorneys representing her said in a statement after the verdict, she showed extraordinary courage bringing this case and telling her story in open court. A jury of Kaylee's peers heard the evidence, heard what Meta and YouTube knew and when they knew it, and held them accountable for their conduct. Okay, all right. Why not $3 billion? Well, why can't we all get paid?
$3 million was just to get them off their backs.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, but let's see if this article covers what are they going to do about it.
It's the lizard. It's Zucky. It's Zucky Man.
Yeah, he was leaving federal courthouse in downtown Los Angeles after defending the company in a landmark social media addiction trial in Los Angeles. So what is their plan? Okay, so let's read this. A Meta
spokesperson said in a statement, "We respectfully disagree with the verdict and are evaluating our legal options. We disagree with the verdict and plan to appeal. This case misunderstands YouTube, which is a responsibility-built streaming platform, not a social media site." Not a social media site.
What did they say? It's a streaming platform?
They're saying that, and this is the legal framing. This is why you read these articles, and this is very key here. Look how they're trying to position themselves. We're not a publisher. We're a platform.
Okay, so why is YouTube? Okay, so this is
we're not a platform.
How is YouTube tied to Meta though? These are two different organizations, are they not?
Well, these are different statements from different.
Okay,
so these are different heads of the hydra that were there.
I will say, Meta is more guilty than YouTube. YouTube is primarily like video watching. I'm not sure, depending on whatever your algorithm is and what you're watching. I learn more from YouTube than go into degenerate stuff.
Oh, I go to Instagram to learn all my facts. No.
No, but I'm saying like YouTube is the lesser of the two evils here.
Oh, sure. There ain't like, talk about X. I mean, X basically 4chan now.
Do you think that YouTube should have gotten a slap on the hand here? Because I'm very. I mean, it's not a social media site. They are right.
I don't think. No, I think it is social media.
Okay, give me your rundown on that then.
Well, when you have the ability to post videos and have people comment on those videos, and those people have their own channels and their own accounts, and they make videos about each other, that's the most form of social media that there could be.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not on the degenerate side of YouTube. That's
the
probably
combative side.
Well, it just like the slop like shows that like keep people and make them feel insecure or something. I don't know. I don't
feel like that stuff really survives on YouTube. YouTube's a really pure platform.
You guys tell me in the comment section. Do you think YouTube should have gotten a slap on the hand here, or
they all need to be punished. Here, I'll read this. I mean, it's a big tobacco moment. They're comparing it to the 1990s when tobacco companies were forced to pay billions of dollars for lying to the public about safety. Meta was ordered to pay $375 million in damages based on the number of violations because Raul Torres alleged the company failed to properly safeguard its apps from online predators targeting children. Okay, So like, what happened? We should maybe do a Roblox deep dive because like I have like an 8-year-old sister and she's like Roblox. so we should talk about Roblox. Yeah, literally, little kids, they're all the same. They all want to play Roblox, but that's where the monsters hide.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of adults on Roblox too, which is the problem too, because
electric chair. It gotta be done. It's gotta be done.
You know, they're going into. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some predatory stuff going on between the adults and who they're talking to.
Well, I saw one thing where it was like a Muslim terror plot, and they meet up in the game, and it's like you have like the Muslim Roblox characters meeting up, like plotting and all of it. It's just so insane.
Wow.
Oh man.
Okay. Anything else?
No. Let's go. Let's go to the next thing. We'll cover a few more things, and then I want to get into the war with you. We got, let's talk about this. This is sad. We got to cover it. Let's go to maid kills young girl in Spain that's underneath Huckabee programming.
I'll highlight it here.
This is a real tragedy. This is morally odious stuff that's going on. This is why I say Western civilization is an oxymoron. Modern Western civilization, what we call it is at least. This girl, she was brutally raped by a migrant population. Some people got to her, whatever happened. And the attack left her with PTSD, and it also left her quadriplegic, where she could barely like move around. She's in a wheelchair. She can't move her arms and legs at all.
Wow.
And she thought that her existence was too painful to stay alive, and she wanted a way out. And these countries, whether it's Canada, whether it's Spain, really we call them liberal democracies, these authoritarian states that do this type of thing, they offer something called MAID. Do you know what MAID stands for? Medical assistance in dying. So they will kill you because it's
euthanize you, basically.
Yeah, like they like to do it for the old people because you don't have to pay for Gertrude's $87,000 a year to keep her alive anymore. They'll do it to you if you're feeling suicidal anyway, like her, and you quote unquote have a good reason. There's never a good reason.
Old age where you're like almost on your way out. That's a legal thing here in the United States as long as you're if you're dying.
If they unplug you and you're gonna die, they'll put you in hospice. But this is not hospice.
This is not hospice. That's what I'm saying.
Taking a healthy person and they gave her lethal injection to shut down her breathing. She dies.
No, I think this is illegal in the United States and should be illegal in other places because at 25 years old, I know this is a difficult situation for her. But she should still have the ability to have people come in, give her the support, and help her out of the situation.
Well, beyond it being a crime against God, it's very simple. There's a ton of people in the insane asylum that want to kill themselves. We don't give them knives and say, well, go ahead and do it.
That is so true.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's not rational to want to end your own life. Okay, we should have a government. We should have systems of laws that protect against stuff like this happening.
Well, and just think about it. If it's your daughter, if it's like your sister,
right?
Would you want the government to have control over what they should or shouldn't be able to do?
You know what I would probably do, and this is not an endorsement, this is in Minecraft, theoretical situation, indemnify myself 50,000-foot wall, metaphysical shield. Here's what I would do. If my little sister had been psyoped into this and was going to go die or whatever, if they were taking her to go do that, I would stop that from happening with whatever means necessary, and I would go to jail forever. But I would
you guys can fill in the lines.
I hope that by me doing that, she would stand up out of the chair and want to stay alive, because she would see that I gave my life for her so that she could be okay. And it's so fucking sick, man.
Let me see that.
It's so like there's no justification. She's dead now. She had been brutally hurt, brutal trauma, all of it, but she was alive, and now she's dead, and now she doesn't get to do anything ever again. There is no future for her. And the people that raped her are probably in jail, get out in a few years, you know? So who wins out of that equation? They don't care. It's not like people that are like, oh, I did this horrible thing and I'm all torn up about it. They get out, they laugh about it. They're like, you remember when we did that to that girl 10 years ago? And like, they should be the ones that are gone.
That's why I have a very big problem sometimes when it comes to governments being involved in personal aspects of people's lives, because there is a threshold. You know, let's take an example, and not to diverge too far from this. You know what they did in California, right? Where like in school, like they're encouraging the kids to like do the whole transgender thing. And if the kid wants to like change their genitals and everything like that, they can do that. And the school can encourage and help them do that. And the parent, and they don't have to tell the parent, and the parent doesn't have any control over its own kid.
That's not right. That's not cool. That's not okay.
It doesn't add up. So again, these situations are very nuanced and very tricky, but some of these are very clear.
You got to read A Brave New World, Tim. And I don't know.
Okay, what is that?
I don't know if you have or haven't. It's a book by Aldous Huxley. And that's a story. It's kind of like 1984, but it's more a parallel into what we live in now, which is like all the people that are born, they come out of these vats and they have various degree of like brain damage and alcohol poisoning, to keep them dumb. They have various social classes. They're encouraged to just have sex all the time, not have any real relationships. They take drugs, they take this thing called soma. Right, to like just stay, but like that's what we're entering towards now with these systems of medical control, where it's like, yes, just sign up to be killed, just sign up for medically assisted dying. I don't have it right now. There's like Canadian ads where it's like, all the lights in the forest.
No,
yeah, and it's like they're trying to sell you on death, and like we like being alive. We want you to like being alive. You're listening to this, you're having problems right now. We are so blessed to be on this planet. We're so blessed to have this mission that God gave us. Take a deep breath. Touch the ground. Touch the grass. Look at the stars. Realize you're a human being. You're not some economic unit or a cattle slave to be taken off to the poison injector chamber when you've outlived your usefulness.
And you know what's interesting about this?
Sure.
They're spending probably more money in the government of Spain trying to fight this case or something. Is this a case or no?
It's over now. It was a case.
Okay. They spent more time trying to create a case, spend all that lawfare, instead of actually pouring the resources into getting the woman the help that she needs. I don't know. I may be stupid. I may be dumb. But we couldn't get her like the world's best therapist and maybe give her all the support she needed. And we decided that this was the option that we needed to do.
Oh, well, they take great care of their prisoners, Tim. You ever seen these European prisons? Oh, I got the art book and the TV and the nice clothes and all that. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars equivalent a year, or a lot of money, tens of thousands at least, taking care of these people. Oh, well, taking care of the citizens, taking care of the law-abiding citizens. Yeah, we're just going to kill you. It's cheaper. It's better. You want it anyway, right?
And this is why I could never be a lawyer, because I couldn't defend this case with a conscience.
Sure.
Like, there's nothing that adds up here that would be like, yeah, I need to make an entire case and try to win this so that this girl can kill herself.
No, absolutely.
The morals aren't there.
It's brutal. And here's one last point I'll make before we get off the story. What you were talking about earlier with the government and with the individual, the state, the government itself, it doesn't have free will. The state, its will is whatever the people are willing to tolerate, whatever the people won't stand up to. And we've lived in a society for far too long that has been willing to just blindly follow the leader, blindly follow leadership, just over and over again off various different cliffs. And now it's reached a point largely in the West where they think they can do things like this. They think they can start an illegal war. They think they can kill their own citizens if they give it a nice name. We deserve what we tolerate. And ultimately, that's why as individuals, as an individual, you're more important than the state. The state is supposed to represent not all of us as a conglomerate, but all of us equally at the same time. Does that make sense to you? It's not a mob rule. It's all of us together being truly equal.
It is. Well said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't agree more, man.
You want to go? You want to go to the war thing? You want to go to this clip? The Larry Johnson.
Let's talk about Israel.
Israel, the state of Israel.
Where I stand with the state of Israel.
That's right.
My name's Lindsey Graham.
Was a rebel who got punished for his trouble. I work for Netanyahu. I'm John Hagen.
Where do we want to start from?
I wanted to play Larry Johnson clip.
Okay, let's go ahead and start there. It's the very top one. It's this YouTube video.
But these pastors, they literally they're like Jesus guy, or was
New Groiper. Hold on, we gotta show some love here. I just got laid off for work for the first time with thousands of other people, but at least the stock market is at high. Love this presidency. Wow. No, New Groiper, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Weren't you in tech?
That's brutal.
You were. I think you comment in the section. You were in tech, right?
It's something.
Yeah, buddy, I haven't seen you for a while. I really hope you're doing well.
That's very tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, this is. I don't know why that struck me. Maybe it's because I know New Groyper has been here for a long time.
We have a community.
We've got a community I care about. I care about you guys. Yeah. Let's go ahead and ask for $200 billion.
Right. We can't send that money to New Groyper. He'll waste it. We got to send it to Israel, the place where they say Jesus was a rebel who got killed for his trouble. We got to send the money to them. We can't send the money to the homeless veterans. We can't give it to the school kids. We certainly can't give it to New Groyper.
Well, and here's the best part, right? We look at our discretionary spending. I wish I had that pie chart to show you. A big chunk of that, 47%, almost half of it is going towards defense spending.
Needs to be more.
4% is going towards education. And then there's another 4% that's going to housing and urban development. And God knows what the other ones. It's like 1%, 2%, 1%, 2%. And meanwhile, we've got people that are existing on the ground, living in America, struggling. And the job market's terrible, Rex.
Yes.
I'm sorry, New Groyper. And it is a very hard thing to go through, especially not knowing what your next move is, because it's not like, and I'm not trying to blackpill here, and I'm not trying to make it worse. It's not like you can just go in and pick up another job just like that. Now he's got to put in all that work and find the applications and do all the resumes. And then the worst part is LinkedIn and these job sites are using AI to screen, and people aren't even getting called back. There's people that have like 1,000 applications out and haven't gotten but 10 interviews.
Right. Well, that's because we're in a recession right now, and no one wants to acknowledge that or admit the truth. And they're still up there smiling and waving, talking about how great the economy is. The economy hasn't been great in a year and a half. All right. It hasn't even been good in a year and a half. It's been complete dog doo-doo. And I know that because I sell things online for a living. Okay. People don't have the money. They don't have the discretionary income to make these purchases in retail and other areas. And, now I didn't even have this in the rundown for today's show, but I can just talk about it off the top of my head. Packages used to cost me about $6 a package, depending on weight, to send something out to somebody. Now it's going to be more like 13 because of the fuel.
The 8%. Wait, it's going from 6 to 13.
It's going to 6 to 13. There's a variety of factors that go into that. There's various reasons for it, but cost of the brick is going to go up. I got to try to keep prices low. I'm actually going to try to just lower a couple things and try to keep the price range to where people can afford to buy items. But I'm negatively impacted by this economy. So it actually pisses me off, Tim, when you see these podcasters calling us all panicans and whatnot, because we don't support the administration and what they're doing.
And you know what they say? Well, just pull up your bootstraps and work hard. Yeah. You can do it.
How many people do you pay? How many people do you employ? That's my serious question. If you're like, they're not loaded drunk and they're panic, they turned on a leader. Trump turned on me. I thought like Biden the whole time period. I'm like, I'm in business back then, business 5 years old. I'm like, when is this gonna get better? I pray a Republican gets in. I pray they do something to help me, right? The small businessman. Trump gets in, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is incredible. And of course, he just just nukes everything. Hopefully not literally, but everything else, he just destroys it. And then people are like, you should be grateful. Look at all the wins we got from President Trump. And I'm like, I'm paying payroll. I'm paying rent. I'm paying electricity. I'm paying gas. Guess what? Most, if not all, of that is going up because of Trump. And these people that do these shows, and like Tim, you're also an engineer. You work in a variety of fields. You're also a businessman, business owner, just like me. We work together as well. We're sitting here. We're actually doing stuff. The reason why we do the show is because we have so much to say on these topics because we're involved in them. And then we see these people who are literal manicured weasels like John Doyle who go and sit in a studio and they have like handlers and whatnot. And that's their job is just to go in the studio, go out of the studio. Like we work. Like we actually work for a living. Is that not true?
Oh, you have no idea, man.
I bet. I'm not an engineer. I got no idea.
I'll give you guys a little insight. There's nothing to hide here.
Let's
specifically.
Go for it.
I wake up at 6 a.m. now. I think I'm grateful that I'm having the ability to do the American Journal, of course.
Right.
But guys, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and I'm getting the studio. We're doing a 3-hour live. We're prepping an hour before. That's 4 hours. And then we're talking about another hour or two just to get back. And I'm going directly to my actual job because I got to put food on my table too. Right. I'm doing that job all the way until 6 o'clock. Okay. And the 2 days that I'm not, I'm also doing another additional 12-hour days. On top of that, when I get home, I am doing research because I genuinely care about every single person, and I want to provide value. So I'm working like 14 hours a day because I care.
Yeah.
And I'm getting pissed off because, you know, I'm watching all of the tomfoolery go around, and the cow sheet, the poly market.
Yes.
The poly market. We've created new scams in 2026.
And it's so massively illegal.
I consider myself a well-formed American, and I'm thinking about this. I was like, I didn't really find out until a couple of days ago when I was watching a video, and I'm like, wait. I thought Poly Market was like one of those things you link a bank account and it's just like any other trading account, like sports betting. No, it's anonymous.
It's all crypto.
And it's in crypto.
It's because they know it's going to be banned and people are going to be chased to influence these world events.
And the best part about crypto is you can't track who's the owner of a crypto wallet. And if you have an anonymous account, it is like the fucking lawmakers.
Yeah.
Let me gather my thoughts here. It is basically like a paradise for scammers and people who are robbing the American people while they cannot put food on their table and people are getting fired. I have met like 10 people that have gotten fired in the last few months.
It's a playpen for the government that you're describing. It's a playpen for the bureaucrats, for the middle management, for the people in the military and in the Navy, in our own government, local, federal, you name it, who know about these events. You might have some trickle-down info to bet on them and get rich because, hey, now we're looking at stock trading. We got to give these new crooked politicians a new way to fraud. And the fraud never stops.
Doesn't stop, man.
The fraud never ends. You know, do you want to get to the war coverage? I kind of want to.
Yeah, we should. Before I get pissed off.
We're gonna make a series of predictions here, and maybe we'll lead with the predictions, and then we're gonna go into the first YouTube clip, which is the Larry Johnson clip, and then after that, we won't play the whole thing. It's like 10 minutes. I'll watch 5 minutes of it. After we play that, we're going to watch Fox News Old Head Carg Island, which is like, we're going to see the real news first, and then we're going to take a look at the propaganda. We're going to be able to pick it apart. Here's the thing. Right now, Trump is tweeting and saying that there's going to be 10-day pause, peace till Easter. The negotiations are going well in the interest of that, and no attacks on energy for another 10 days. And me and Tim were talking about this before the show. We both kind of agree. That means the attack is imminent, right? And the troop movements have been public for like literally about 10 days now. They've been sailing. They're going to get there on Friday, the first expeditionary fleets.
I think it's like either over the weekend, Sunday is my prediction, or maybe early next week.
Yeah, and I really think that's free money. It definitely happens before.
Hey, let's open up a Poly Market account. Let's bet, baby.
I mean, there's stuff happening right now that's so ridiculously obvious. I mean, you have to be a fool not to. I guess I am a fool because I don't really engage in it.
Let's pull up this YouTube video, Wes. Larry, is that the one you wanted, or this other one?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
the first one's good.
The very first.
The next one after. But this will give us some context, and we can have a more educated discussion on it. Oh, breaking news from Anthony Graffio. I got to check breaking news. What happened? I'm pregnant. Bibi Netanyahu had surgery done on me by the Mossad, gave me a uterus. I now have a baby. I'm Donald Trump.
He got me from behind.
Oh, no. He said, let me at it.
I said, Bibi, stop.
Bibi, please stop.
I'm enjoying this just a little bit, but Bibi, stop.
All right. Just in, Trump considers sending an additional 10,000 ground troops to the Middle East, providing more options in the Iran war.
I was telling somebody, I'm like, yo, 2,000. I was talking to you on the phone. I'm like, we need 10,000. I was like, he's gonna send 10,000.
Well, we'll play the video of Kellogg, and we're gonna go to this video, Larry Johnson here. But Kellogg is like, we have two companies.
No, that's the wrong thing. It's the first link at the top.
It's the first link at the top. It's that YouTube link. Kellogg is like, we have 2,500 Marine troops on troop boats, and we're gonna be able to take them out. And it's like, well, you actually have like 800 to 900 combat troops. The rest are support. You're sailing the ships into the most dangerous water in the entire surface of the earth.
Give it to me, BB.
And you're just like, we're going to have total victory because we say so. Let's watch Larry Johnson talk about it.
Send him to the meat grinder.
So we have to be involved in the defense of Israel at all costs.
You got some technical difficulties there. Wes, it's not showing. No worries.
All right, I'm gonna sing a little song.
I'm gonna read some comments. Hey, New Grop, I really am sorry about that, brother.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, we got the video. Okay, let's go ahead and play this.
On the 12th of March, there started a massive airlift from U.S. Special Operations military bases around the United States from 12 March until the 23rd. So over those 11 days, there were 35 C-17 flights going from the United States, 2 bases in Jordan and 1 base in Israel. Where were they flying from? Well, they went to Hunter Army Air Base in Georgia. That's home to an element of Task Force 160, the Night Stalkers. And it's also home to the 75th Ranger Regiment, 1st Battalion. Those flights, several flights from there. When you realize a C-17 can hold only 104 soldiers at combat, kitted out for combat, so if you got 4 flights, maybe 2 of those taking 200 of those soldiers, at least a company element or a couple of companies. They go to Joint Base Lewis McChord, again, a major base for the 75th Rangers. That's the 2nd Battalion of the 75th, I believe. Going to Fort Bragg, home Delta Force, 82nd Airborne. Flying out of Oceana Air Station. Gee, who's there? Dam Neck, Virginia, SEAL Team 6. And then you've got all the East Coast SEAL teams, the SEAL Teams 2, 4, 8, 10. Another flight's Fort Campbell, Kentucky. That is the headquarters for the Special Operations Air Regiments, also known as the Night Stalkers, Task Force 160. In my experience...
Okay, so we're bringing out the A-team.
We're bringing out all the Special Forces people you can imagine. He's just going down the list. Larry Johnson was in the CIA for decades and decades and decades, and he gets into it a little bit. He helped war game operations just like this one. So he knows what he's talking about here. And, I've seen him say this. I've seen other people say it. A lot of the talk about Carg Island, maybe that's a distraction as well. And I was saying to you,
where else would we land?
Well, various other places first, to secure the area. Maybe like by signaling that we're going to hit that first, maybe we'll hit the other areas. Another thing I was thinking about, what if Trump actually does hit the power at the same exact time that he goes in with the Special Forces troops? What if he plunges the country into true just blackness and pandemonium?
I don't think we're ready for what happens after that. I think all bets are off, and Iran is just going to start launching missiles like there's no end.
Well, yeah, you got to think about our goals by doing this, right? Because we want to control that oil depot. That's where they export most of their oil from. If we can take that, if we can have a beachhead there, then theoretically, in the minds of the Americans, we can have some means and some say in controlling the strait. Of course, there's hundreds of miles of coastline. There's plenty of places for them to put missiles. It'll be dealing with ongoing attacks. It will require support, which is why you see more troops coming, because those people are mostly going to be, hopefully, support people to help that operation.
Well, just wait until 100 Americans die. I think more, and I think at that point, he's going to have to pull the brakes.
And you think about it, the Iranian perspective, and keep in mind, their worship of Shia Islam, their highest virtue is martyrdom, right? So they are willing to lose, literally, my dad gave the example of 100. I didn't think it was high enough. They are willing to lose, technically, I know it would be bad for them. I know that would be bad for them strategically, whatever, just in virtue. They're willing to lose 1,000 IRGC to kill 1 Marine because they know the equivalency is still way skewed on the American side.
Well,
for every death Trump has to deal with, it's another 1,000 pounds he has to carry.
That's a good point. And they've got 600,000 plus in terms of their actual army on the ground. Also,
blood is cheap for them.
It's totally fine. You 42-year-olds get to join us on the front line with the age of conscription going up.
That's right. Well, Larry used to play baseball decades ago. Now he's got ACL surgeries, but he's going to get out there with the gun. He's been smoking for a few decades. It's not a problem. It's not a big deal. He's going to back you up.
What would cause you to raise the age?
Desperation. Their recruitment numbers. Here's the thing. the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, they've been able to curate a lot of talent because there's a lot of those guys, and it's just a certain phenotype of man, right? Like, I'm pretty similar myself, although I chose not to go. Just a guy that likes to run around and break things, right? And those people are attracted to the Army and to the Marines specifically. But people that are in the Navy, I think they hit they were shy like 147,000 of their recruitment goal. So the ships, the real base of the American empire, our control of sea lanes and global shipping, that's really under threat if we don't have the people, and we don't make boats anymore. We don't have shipyards. We've talked about this before.
Oh, Ranger's correcting me. This is good. I didn't know about that.
That's not for the draft, boys. Draft is 18-25. Yeah, they want the young guys that can deal with a lot of
They raised the enlistment in a bad economy. Okay, so Ranger, what do they raise it for then?
What do they want these guys for? I've talked about this before. We got to have Ranger call in at least.
You know, new Groiper. Cut it out, man.
No, I'll fight with I'll fight for shekels.
He's like, I'll be at the recruiter's office right now. Nah, man, it ain't worth it. Yeah, everybody comes out with 100% disability that I know that goes into the military.
Excellent point. They did the same thing in Ukraine just before white vans started showing up. Yeah, they literally, we played the videos. They throw you in the van.
You're just like, do, 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 do. Get him.
Yeah, exactly. You're hiding like Anne Frank in the attic.
Oh my gosh. Nah. Okay. So realistically, the probability of a draft happening is damn near zero. Even though we're struggling with recruitment numbers, we have enough active and reserve military for anything that we would do. We haven't. The last draft that we actually had was in '72 during Vietnam.
Right.
We've had 2 other wars since then in which we've committed way more troops from Afghanistan and Iraq, and this won't even get to that level. I don't
know if I agree.
Okay, there's no way. Okay, let's talk about this just a little bit.
Can we turn that down? Thank you.
I don't see any scenario in which we put hundreds of thousands of troops on the ground in Iran. And that's specifically because Trump was the one that pulled us out of Afghanistan, did he not?
Well, this is the dangerous teeter-totter. It's like we're on this hill right now. We could go that way or we could go this way. The way we hope it goes, the way we pray it goes is Taco Trump. Trump always chickens out. If God forbid something is to happen, we want the minimization of American casualties. Of course, we want them right now to leave the region, want them to leave right now. But if God forbid something is to happen, we don't want Trump to commit, 100,000 troops to the invasion of Iran.
No.
But that's also a part of the risk, right?
But if we were to do that, right, hypothetically, all of the riots we had during the Vietnam era, forget those. Those will look like, small fry in front of the things that the American people, because a lot of people are pissed off on both sides. You might see Republicans and Democrats marching in the same exact riot and protest if we were to commit troops to this conflict.
Yeah, Iraqis put 2 million on the ground and lost them all against Iran. Yeah, and we gave them chemical weapons too.
We did.
Iran fought a World War I against Iraq. Like, I think
trench warfare.
They lost hundreds of thousands of people. So like this is more in their culture than is in our culture to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and roll the rest of the clip.
Let's go watch the rest. Yeah.
Whenever when you see this kind of deployment, it can only be one of two things. It's an exercise, or it's an actual mission. I don't see this as an exercise. And the fact that it looks like they're bringing in both SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force, and by themselves, those are just, they're not an assault force. They're good at rescuing hostages, that kind of thing. But somehow they're getting activated. But they're being accompanied by the 75th Rangers. And I recall in all the exercises that I scripted, when it involved either Delta or SEAL Team 6, you always involved the Rangers. At minimum, they go in and seize an airfield, and accompany that. And then you got the 82nd. So it looks to me like what's happening, that 5-day, so that started on March 12th. March 13 was when Trump activated the 31st MU, the Marine Expeditionary Unit. They started setting sail. When do they arrive in theater? Friday or Saturday. Gee, that's right at the end of that 5-day period. The 11th MU is about a week behind. But what one scenario I could see as possible because they're bringing in multiple elements of the Special Operations Air Regiment. There's not just one unit. So that tells me they're going to have two vectors of attack at a minimum. And the likely targets would be Karg Island up in the northeast corner of the Persian Gulf, and the Keshem Island, which is right there at the bend of the Strait of Hormuz. This is bad. And then I got a note from a friend of mine who was he was in contact with somebody with Delta Force. Yeah.
So that blue, can you just go back just a little bit?
Go back to the graphic.
To the graphic. Okay, so that blue line, what is that? Like a buffer zone? Is that the Iranians on that side?
I'm not sure. Maybe we can have Ranger tell us. What are we looking at here, Ranger, on this map? You know, it looks like this is how they're going to engage. That's up where the Kurds are too. Those are the area. That's where the Kurds are. Well,
the green probably is representing those like little Kurdish forces, and you got.
I don't know. Right? I don't know. Maybe the Kurds are more towards the left. We're speaking out of turn here. We're not military experts.
They're closer to the top, because you've got Turkey right above there. But I want to talk about specifically how do, and forgive my ignorance around this, but how the hell do we know all of the troop movements? Like, why are they so publicly available for people to guess?
This is a theoretical, but it's a theoretical based on what all the public officials have said, right? And Larry Johnson is verifying that with his insider information.
Well, so what this makes me think, just like when we thought the public knew something, they end up doing something else, and it ends up being bigger, right? So remember, like, people were trying to guess when we were going to hit the nuclear sites, right?
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, breaking news! We've got B-2 bombers leaving like the Midwest and heading west towards California." And then nobody had any clue that there was a second unit that went out towards the east, and they were the ones that attacked. It's like, again, I think this is going to be bigger,
and that speaks to the thing exactly. That's literally what I was going to say, Tim. That speaks to it being bigger. These are probably less than half of the troops we know about, and that speaks to the size of the operation. This is a major ground invasion.
Yeah, 2,500. What are you going to defend against the entire army with just 2,500?
Just going back to it, because we have to say it over and over and over again. We voted for what? No new wars.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't vote for this.
You voted for Trump. You should have known what you were expecting to get. You're arrogant. You think you know more than the president in his briefing? I don't have it. I don't have the article. Trump gets 2-minute briefings where he watches stuff get blown up in montages.
Well, we'll go back to the video very shortly. I think Trump is exhausted. I think he's so tired.
I just want a little nap time.
And at some point, you got to be delirious to where you're not actually making the smartest decisions possible.
Locked in that. They keep him locked in.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh my, you just might have hit the nail on the head, because if you keep somebody in a tired state to where they're only getting 2 or 3, they're more susceptible to influence.
Absolutely.
That might be the key. Now, we're not into conspiracies here.
Well, but maybe Tim. Go ahead.
I'm not. You come from a different cloth, right?
All right. Yeah,
This is why we work, though.
Sure.
So I will implore you with this, because when you are that tired, you are relying on people to give you information.
Sure. Well, the thing is with Trump, and everyone, ever since I've come out and been real anti-Trump, people have been attacking me for a variety of reasons. Here's the thing. I believe Trump's very complicated. I think he's influenced. I think he's bought into the plan and the program at a certain level. I think he's also very ignorant of what that means. And I also think he's very tired, and he's kept kind of in that loop where he kind of like, it's like a horse that has to walk all the time. Mm-hmm. Right? And like they drive Trump like yah mule, like Yosemite Sam. He would ride on like giant mounts, right, and chase Bugs Bunny. And he'd just go yah mule, and the giant thing, whatever it is, giant bull or whatever, just have to. That's what Trump is.
Greffer says you are a host on InfoWars show now, Tim. It is time to accept that you are in fact a conspiracy guy.
I mean, by the government standard, Tim would be woke right, because he questions the war and doesn't want it to happen. So like you don't agree with President Trump, so you're a conspiracy theorist.
Dude, I don't even know what's left and right anymore. I'm gonna be honest, but let's go back to the
video. Yeah, let's go back to the video.
Who was he was in contact with somebody with Delta Force, one of his friends. And he said, this friend told him, he says, look, I heard from two different friends in the SOF community, and that's Special Operations Forces, that a bunch of Tier 1 guys shipped out Thursday night for a major operation, probably an island, to take place by this weekend, and that a lot of people were concerned the op had not been thoroughly thought through and that they'd be badly overexposed. One guy said no effort was made at a blocking force. And he said, I hope they send a priest along who can last rights us, which is not the kind of talk you usually hear from those types.
Was it? Yeah, you don't hear like the most badass of badass people ever say things like that. Like, well, I hope they bring body bags if they bring, a preacher or a priest to give us our last rites to pray for us before we die.
Crazy.
It's a suicide mission.
It is.
It is openly known.
Suicide Squad.
And what does Lindsey Graham say? He's like, we did Iwo Jima, we can do this. And these are people.
I don't care what y'all say. I'm with Israel.
We're dropping it. We're killing all the right people. We're cutting your taxes. We ran out of bombs. like these.
We need more bombs.
These are actual lines from a sitting U.S. senator, and he's like, Lindsey Graham will also make statements like, well, I told the countries that I might be willing to make a deal with them. And you're like, you're a senator. You work in the legislature. And he talks about, like, he acts like he's an imperial, like vizier or something. But we'll go back to the video.
Lindsey Graham's an interesting creature.
The word circulating in the SOF community. And, I think Trump was playing this to be upbeat, manipulate the stock market. When the stock market closes, 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon, after that point, Trump will make an announcement. The negotiations are off. The Iranians have rejected it. They're being intransigent. So we're now going to show them. Giving further support to that is Trump was supposed to attend a charity fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago Friday night. He was going to be the special guest. He's canceled that. And he was supposed to speak at CPAC on Sunday, and he's canceled that. So those are, again, what I call warning indicators that, he's clearing his schedule, so he's not going to be available. If the United States proceeds with this, and again, I have no inside information that they're going to, but I'm just, looking at this analytically. You don't deploy those units just to say, let's put them out in theater. They're planning to do something, and they're involving the whole menu of the special operations community. And this is, when you're going to put your most skilled assets at this kind of risk, you better have a good plan. But the word circulating from those operators is nobody's done any damn planning on this.
Well, and you have to wonder just what in the world is going on here. I mean, what would be the objectives? Because there's been a couple of bits of information out, which is important on the other side of this potential operation here. Number one is that the Iraqi side has said, hey, our the PMF, the Shia militia that's part of the Iraqi security forces, they're aligned with Iran, but they are part of the Iraqi security forces. They have been authorized to retaliate against U.S. and Israel strike that kills their fighters, that has killed their fighters, rather, in Anbar province. There's also information that...
So we're really going back to the 90s. We're really going back to the early 2000s. The Iraqi militias that are being hit, the government's getting closer and closer and closer to entering the fight on the side of the Iranians. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is. They don't like each other either.
And it's very different now that we're adults and seeing this.
Sure.
Because, I just, back in Iraq and Afghanistan, they were able to, brainwash the entire society to go with these conflicts. Specifically, you got the WMD, you got 9/11, but now you just see the contrast. People are not going to be fooled like that again. At some point, the government has to understand that you can't keep tricking the American people over and when I snap my fingers, Rex, you will forget this ever happened. No, we've got receipts.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, follow
it.
Yeah, exactly. Literally,
Go sleepy.
Trump is a bad hypnotist now. He used to be a pretty good one. Now he's really not such a good one at all.
Well, and the last thing I'll say on this is like, I realized yesterday going into this morning, you can't please everybody. There's some people that will like defend these situations,
sure,
no matter how hard you try to convince them. And I realize I don't got to convince anybody anymore. I know what's right and what's wrong in my own.
Your
morals.
job is to argue that and convince other people. And if people feel that way and agree with you, great. If they disagree with you, they want to make an argument back. That's what it's all about. That's the nature of what we do by doing a show. Let's play the rest of the clip.
Mm-hmm.
The Houthis may finally be getting involved. They have threatened in the Bab al-Mandab that they may close the Red Sea off to the U.S. And so who knows whether they're going to. But, I mean, you could get a situation here to where you could have the Bab al-Mandab.
Let's take a look at that, Tim. Analyze that. Look, like we got a legend here, so we know what it says on the map.
Yeah, I don't think the Houthis want smoke, but
hey, I mean, they made the U.S. military retreat in disgrace.
True, but remember the last time they got involved, we took it as an opportunity to destabilize that region to where a lot of those rebel groups were able to take over specific parts. The first time the United States didn't really have a plan, but I think they've been planning for this one specifically.
But it is another factor they have to deal with. And
yeah,
that's
it
the
is.
problem. It's just.
But here's the best part.
These people, hold on 1 second. They don't care about having their country destroyed as long as it hurts the U.S. And that's why we ain't gonna win this thing.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yes, like they don't care, but we're bringing like most of our assets out there now. And we already have a ton out there right now. And then didn't DMT say they're now starting to turn places in Germany from Volkswagen car manufacturers into missile production facilities?
You're right.
So it's like I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening in other places and we just continue to fuel the fire because the United States does have a lot of firepower. But I don't know. I really don't know at this point.
I mean, it's just so difficult because this is the first time in such a long time that we've fought people with a win condition other than to just survive. And of course, their win condition is ultimately to survive, but it's also to keep that straight blocked. That's how they are able to win the war in theory. You got those three major choke points. You got the Sumed pipeline. You got the Bab al-Mandab down there by Yemen. And then you've got the Strait of Hormuz, of course, we've all been talking about as the weeks have developed and gone on over there. And Karg Island is up there to the north. That's the major Iranian export hub. That's why it's so important. Let's go back to the video.
Shut down, the Strait of Hormuz shut down, and all of this is if we attempt to attack anybody inside, on the ground inside of Iran. Because, for example, and this is what the parliamentary speaker for Iran has said: we're closely monitoring all U.S. movements in the region, especially troop deployments. What the generals have broke, the soldiers can't fix. Instead, they will fall victim to Netanyahu's delusions. Do not test our resolve to defend our land. We've seen a lot of times where Zelensky, for example, in the Russia-Ukraine war, he made a lot of boasts and a lot of pretty grandiose claims that he was never able to back up on the battlefield. Do you see the Iranian side here being similar to that, or can they make good on some of these boasts?
Oh, Iran can make very good on the threats. This is what doesn't make sense. We've seen, the little old lady from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham. He's been talking about the need to take Karg Island. General Kellogg, the Captain Crunch of the Trump administration, has also been suggesting it. Now, and why? Well, so Iran pumps a significant amount of oil out of Karg, and that is then delivered to China and other places. Note, just as a side note, but to show you how much this whole thing has backfired on the Trump administration, before the war started, Iran was pumping 1.1 million barrels per day of oil, and it was being sold at $47 a barrel. Today, they're pumping 1.5 million barrels, so a 400,000 barrel increase, and they're selling it at $97 a barrel. So they're rolling in cash. So this was supposed to, remember, sanctions are supposed to decimate Iran, but instead it's making them flush with cash. So you've got that. But let's say, the reason Scott Bessent and Trump lifted the oil sanctions on Iran, because remember, you apply sanctions to get control of them, to try to force them to do your will. It didn't work, but that was the principle. But now you're lifting the sanctions. Why? Because Bessent and Trump are terrified that with the skyrocketing price of oil, if they don't keep it tamped down by both making sure that there's enough supply out there that it's not going to be terribly severe, then your choice now is to attack the island, get control of that oil, which Iran can then turn off and not allow it to go onto the island anymore, which then will reduce the oil supply that you're claiming you want to uphold. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And seizing that island doesn't ensure that you're going to close off, open up the Strait of Hormuz. In fact, just the opposite.
Yeah.
If you seize Karg, the Iranians have already said, if you do that, we're going to mine the whole damn Gulf, not just the Strait, the whole damn Gulf. Not a single ship will be safe to move. So they'll completely shut it down. Now, this gets back to what's the military objective of taking Keshem Island, which is down right there at the turn in the Strait of Hormuz. It'd be one thing if if traffic could not pass through that narrow opening because you had guns and artillery pieces or missile launchers or whatever right there on that island, that was the only thing preventing ships from going through. Well, that's not the case. And there are at least, I forget how many, I think there's 150,000 Iranians on that island. Oh. So let's say you...
Oh, no.
No.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
Hold on. So, and you pulled this up, Tim. It's such a great point. Driving across Karg Island only takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. It's only like 5 miles in length. And they've got 150,000 troops. And Ranger says we need 100,000 troops. We only have 8,000 in theater. And if we hit $10 a gallon national average, Trump's legacy is done. We're going there on both fronts. We're going to hit them with too little troops. We're going to get destroyed. And the oil's going up.
I was just thinking about this. I'm like, okay, well, if everybody and their moms knows about us trying to take these islands, Iran surely knows about this too. So, I mean, I didn't expect the 150,000
They're
number.
not going to figure out our secret plan. Oh, it's just, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Like, they're never going to figure out what we're about to do. It literally, it's the Teletubby administration.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I was thinking too critically about this because I'm like, well, they've had plenty of time to think about all the strategies of how they can defend these particular assets.
Right.
So either Trump and the United States is trying to play 4D chess where they're not interested in the island and they're interested in something else. Because I don't see how you take over something with 150,000.
I think it's like modern art, like a German modern artist. They'll put a porcelain toilet down, and they'll like throw paint on it. And the people watching, like, it's incredible. What's the process here? What's the plan? There is no plan. They're just kind of throwing paint around and seeing what sticks. And the thing that's so scary is you have all these generals around Trump, particularly Air Force generals, that have told him, like, our bombs are everything. Basically, the strategic value of the Air Force and like their standard in military, they want to be seen as people that have a 100% success rate. That's why we've hit over 7,000 targets in Iran. Like that's why they have to keep repeating that stuff over and over and over again. Campaigns ultimately can't be won from the air. That's been proven over and over again in various conflicts. What you need the air support to do is to bring in the ground invasion. And then that's what we're going to start seeing. And that's when you're really going to see, I know I've ragged on the American military a lot because we can't get a lot of things done, it seems. But, as Tim has spoken to many times, when you see that combination of forces, that's why they think they can use 8,000 troops to take out that island.
Yeah, let me just see how many troops are on the island. I'm just going to quickly look that up.
There's this place. They don't even know we're looking at it. They don't even know we know about it. It's called Karg Island. Can you believe it? Yeah. You know, in Iran, I've been told they live in caves. They don't even have TV. They don't have Twitter. They don't see everything I say. And it's like, yes, they do. They're putting out AI Lego videos mocking.
Dude, I thought that was somebody else, but when I saw it, I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's them too. And that's the thing is, like, my roommate Jack, I was talking to him about it. I was like, look how crazy this is. You have to see it.
Yeah,
I was watching it on my phone, and he's like, that's gotta be fake. Like, someone else made that. No, they're making their own propaganda, and it's good. It's effective propaganda. And like, what's the propaganda of the U.S.? Because ultimately, like, it is a propaganda war at the end of the day. The propaganda is Trump coming out and saying, I declare victory. Every day he declares victory, Tim. Aren't you happy that we win a war every day?
We won, you know, but the eerily similar to the Vietnam War. If you watch those videos, all of those commanders and all of the troops, not troops, all of the high up commanders were going on public national television and saying, we're winning this war. We're doing a great job. And meanwhile, you know, they're sweating in the background because they know they're losing it. So I don't believe any of it anymore.
Right. Well, like, my great uncle, like, he would talk about, like, to my father, and I've heard some of these things as well. They would talk about what would happen in Vietnam, and, like, not the scripted war games, the actual war games, the experiments that they would run on people. And like, our military has been involved in stuff like this for such a long period of time. And the special forces component of our military has really increased. Like, as other areas of the military have suffered, we found more and more special forces guys that want to do this job. They're being told to do this job now. So when you tell these guys to do the job, they're going to try to execute on the plan.
Yep.
And you don't deploy these guys and be like, oh, it's just a training exercise. It's not real. It's not a big deal. We watch the news. We watch Trump tweet. We watch what he says. Trump promises, Donald Trump, what is his promise? What is the peace president's promised him? Total obliteration. Is that not what he promises to the people that oppose the empire?
No, I'm going to make America great again. And this is how we do it.
That's right. I'm so
We're
sorry.
going to blow everything up, folks.
I'm so sorry, Tim. Dow. I forgot about the Dow. Holy shit.
S&P 500
Holy
is
shit.
all-time highs.
Oh, I love Trump. Oh,
You have Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes. It's just, we can't let that work on us, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go ahead. Go back to the doc really quick, if you would, Tim. Yeah. Let's go ahead and watch Fox News Old Head Cargill. And this is Keith Kellogg, the described Captain Crunch by Larry Johnson, the CIA head. Let's watch him, because we just watched a real high-level breakdown of what's going on, the risks involved, the dangers involved. Let's watch the guy telling Trump that it's great.
We're doing fantastic, sir.
Doing phenomenal.
I'm ready to give
big
that
believer in putting boots on the ground, not necessarily into Iran, but taking Kharg Island and also taking the Strait of Hormuz. Look, we kind of need to do it the way the Romans used to do it. You need to put your legions on the ground to secure the territory and give them confidence that they can do it, that we can open up the strait. Look, I know there's risk involved. There's always risk involved, but those kids, those young men and women, they understand the risk involved on taking both Kharg and opening up the Strait of Hormuz.
Just got to put boots on the ground. Now, what's interesting is the last line. What's interesting, by the way, that it's
legions of old. You have to put your legions on the ground in order to win the battle. It's like, okay, well, number one, we didn't consent to a battle. We wanted to be gone. We wanted to no more war. I don't know how hard it is to say. I'll just say it over and over again, no more war. But we just watched a very deep, very layered breakdown of the actual forces involved. He's talking about men with sticks. He's talking about guys with spears, Tim. That's the analogy that he draws to.
Well, remember, the guy who called in today, there's two types of boomers. I actually liked what he said there.
Yes.
He said there's the older boomer, and then there's the ones that were towards the tail end, which were the newer boomers. And they grew up in two different worlds. So now I do need to make this distinction, because I think going forward, we'll start doing that, right? We can't put all the boomers in it, right? But the ones that were earlier are that guy is a fucking old boomer. Let's be honest, folks.
Yes.
So he's the one that is just loving all of this slop. And he's like, I want more of it. And this is amazing.
And check it out. That guy is Trump's, or was Trump's, like, Ukrainian military advisor. So he was the one telling Trump, or telling Biden, excuse me, to give more aid to Zelensky. And you see, whether it's Biden or Trump, the middle management, these people involved, Keith Kellogg is working with and for both administrations.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how it's a uniparty?
Do you think this would all happen if the Democrats were in? curious about
Well,
your thoughts
so
on
the
this.
Democrats-
I've thought about this.
So this is the thing that blows my mind. This is the thing that I really like. I grinds my gears because I haven't figured out how to do it yet. You have these people on the left, and I view a lot of them. They have the correct position on Palestine, which is that the Palestinian genocide is real. There needs to be a two-state solution at a bare minimum, and I think that's a acceptable position to have. But then they'll turn around and they'll say, "And we have to fight the evil Putin, and we have to Zelensky. They're winning. The Ukrainians. It's Star Wars. They're killing the Russian orcs, the scum." And you're like, well, hold on. So you're not anti-war. You're just anti this war. Like you don't get to pick and choose. So does that answer your question at all? What was your question?
Sort
What was
of.
your
It's
question
more
again?
so you put it in reverse. Like, do you think we get this far if let's say Biden was in and the Democrats, like they did the Ukraine thing, right?
I think that, I mean, now you see anti-war consciousness growing, and I think that'll be the silver lining that comes out of this whole cloud. But no, I mean, if Kamala Harris is in there, it's World War III with Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's really pick your poison.
You're right. Because that's honestly why I voted for Trump. That was the biggest contention point, more than anything else.
You know why that is? The EU leaders are incredibly weak. They don't actually have any real dirt on our government, but they have this fake narrative Star Wars story they've spun that really convinces people on the Democrat side. And there's a lot of corruption there as well. With Trump is in bed and compromised partially by the Israeli regime.
Bibi.
So
give it to me.
Please, not the 15-incher, Bibi. Please, it's too big. Oh my God. I'm sorry. But it's a family show.
It's a family show.
But
nah, we can be a little more loose on this one.
Yeah.
That's why we like to gray. It's late at night.
It's late night TV.
Late night TV.
But I really think they would, like, this is why right now we have to take advantage of the opportunity we have to build the anti-war consciousness, because it would have been the same thing.
Yep.
It would have been.
It would have been the same thing. Yeah, I'm pretty gassed. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's go ahead. You know what? It's been really fun. You guys are going to be able to see me. If you want to see me to start your day, drink your coffee, go work out, go to work, whatever you want to do, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'll be hosting American Journal tomorrow.
He's solo dolo.
Solo show.
I would be doing Thursday and Friday, but again,
just work. We got to work.
I'm still working.
Yeah, we're all still working.
We're still all working.
I'm still working as well. I got to pay some bills after we get off here. I got to pay some storage unit type stuff.
But that's how you know we love you guys, because it doesn't matter how much I have to work. I could work 14-hour days and I still want to give you guys phenomenal information. So I will be back on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to give you guys some great deep dives.
Yes. Do we have guests for Sunday?
No.
We got to figure that out.
We got to figure that out.
All right, we're going to figure that out. We always have phenomenal guests for you on the Sunday show. We're going to get that queued up. You want to be here. Sunday's a very long broadcast, news blitz, guests, deep dive. We do it all wrapped into one. Me and Tim host American Journal Monday through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just me. So catch us 5 days a week, whether it's on the gray area or on here. We're always grateful and honored to be your chroniclers of these events.
Yes, we know we're the new guys on the block, but we sure are earning our stripes. I'm telling you, I am super excited for what the future has to hold. We also need to figure out
what do we got to do here.
I'm thinking about in the future very shortly here. I want to do a giveaway of some sort. You know, I want to get some gray area merch and kind of like and kind of give it away to 4 or 5 lucky people. Tell me if you guys would be interested in that. You see this logo right here? Would you like to wear a shirt that has this on?
We'd love if you guys would like to do that. I'd like to do it as well. Gray Area Crew, maybe we do something like that.
Yeah. Oh no, Wes and Damon are getting free merch. Of course,
absolutely.
You guys are the first ones. You guys. I'm thinking sweatshirt or something, or a hat. Who knows? But
well, I love you guys.
Thank you guys. We love you. All of the positive comments. Sorry, can I just read a few comments?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We gotta show some love to some people. The goal here is to not be pilled at all. The goal at all, just be your true selves. Well said. Well said.
Yep.
Same people who told us the Russians would fold in a month are the same ones advocating for troops on the ground.
Yes.
Follow the money. Yes.
Very true. A draft would be the find out moment for this government. Absolutely. Absolutely true. Bless your good heart, Rex, and Tim too. Bless both our good hearts. We're here, but I appreciate that organic creation. I really appreciate that. Linda, they're forecasting 4.2 inflation rate this year. Yup. But that's,
you know what? I'm not
that's
sure.
Not an issue.
I'm not sure how much I trust the inflation reports anymore, because
it's higher.
They've messed up on several occasions, including like the jobs report. Did you remember when they adjusted it for like 100,000 jobs that they suddenly just missed? Oh, it was an accident.
Yep, 100%.
Thank you, Ashley. Love you and Rex and Tim. Keep being yourselves.
We love you, Maureen. Thank you.
Great
so much.
show. Thank you, Mosh, and thank you for the super chat, Mosh. We really appreciate that.
That was really awesome. Well, I think it's a good show.
It is. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Sorry, guys. Take care. Stay blessed. We love you.
Absolutely. The same people who told us a shot was safe and effective want us to invade Karg Island. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, guys. Good show tonight.
Modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years,